Hi everyone, welcome to this yet another session on legal updates where we discuss the latest legal developments that might come in your CLAT paper and other law entrance examinations. The kind of passages that you find in CLAT are the kind of questions that have some legal bent towards it. So any legal discussion, anything that has to do with constitution or maybe criminal law or maybe even the laws like law of torts or the contract, those kind of passages we discuss every Friday on this channel. So today's discussion is a very old discussion, that is a debate regarding Hindi imposition, especially in the South India. So non-Hindi speaking states of India, if Hindi is imposed on those states, they of course oppose such a move by the government, by any body that tries to impose Hindi on the non-Hindi speaking people. So today's passage has been taken from the Hindu. Today is 21st October 2022, and this passage is from the Hindu on the Hindu in the Hindu newspaper. You will find the column that is the explainer. So in the explainer, you will have this Hindi imposition and its discontents. So let us, before getting into this issue, let's also talk about a very important schedule in the Constitution of India. That is Schedule 8. Just one second. We have Schedule 8 in the Constitution of India, and Schedule 8 gives us the official languages. This is very important for you to understand, especially the papers that have direct general knowledge questions that direct test your knowledge on polity and constitution. They usually ask you which schedule relates to which part of the constitution, and I have a very interesting story for that. So Schedule 8 is regarding official languages, and today's discussion is about language, about Hindi imposition, about the languages that are used in India as far as official languages are concerned. We'll see what are the official languages and what is permitted, what is not. But talking about schedules, just I'll take 5 to 8 minutes regarding discussing all the schedules that we have. In the Constitution of India, there are total 8 schedules. Originally, there were total 12 schedules. Originally, there were 8. Now we have 12. So there is a story to remember that is Tears of Old PM. T E A R S, Tears of Old, OLD, PM. PM. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So as I told you, there are 12 schedules, and each schedule in this the letter that we have used, you can remember it with the help of this mnemonic with these letters. So T stands for territory. Of course, when we start talking about the country as a whole, the first thing that we need to take into consideration is its territorial extent. That is extends from Jammu to Kashmir to Kanyakumari and so on and so forth. So the territorial extent. So that territorial extent is given in the first schedule. Second schedule talks about emoluments. Emoluments means the salary of the constitutional posts, like the salary of the Supreme Court judges, the salary of the president. So how much salary and all the perks, all the remunerations that they get, that is mentioned in the second schedule, that is emoluments. Third schedule is affirmations. So affirmations and oath. Whenever someone takes on the chair, he takes the oath. So what oath is being taken, who is administering the oath to which chair, all that is mentioned in the third schedule, oaths and affirmations. So that is why A, oaths and affirmations, A for affirmations. Fourth is Rajya Sabha. The things regarding Rajya Sabha you can find in the fourth schedule. Today we are talking about a very interesting schedule, that is the eighth schedule, and as you can see that in the eighth schedule we have written O, and O is the official languages. Official languages. Then of course we have after fourth schedule we have fifth schedule, that is scheduled areas. We have certain Scheduled areas, the president has the power to declare any area as a scheduled area. So schedule 5 talks about the scheduled areas. Then we have sixth schedule that talks about other scheduled areas. So this you can remember that in addition to the scheduled areas, we have Assam, Tripura, Manipur, and Meghalaya. ATM money, you can remember this as ATM money, Assam, Tripura, Manipur, Meghalaya. These comes under the sixth schedule, that is other scheduled areas. Seventh is federal structure. Seventh is federal structure. As you know that in India, the power is divided between center and state. So some work is assigned to the union government, some work is assigned to the state government. We have three types of list where we have union list, we have a state list, we have the concurrent list. So all that is given in the seventh schedule. Eighth schedule we are discussing today, that is official languages. Ninth schedule, you can remember it as land reforms. Land reforms is the ninth schedule. Land reforms or anything that is put in the land in the ninth schedule is immune from judicial review. Then we have 10th schedule. As you can see, 10th schedule is written as D, and D stands for defection here. So 10th schedule is anti-defection. 10th schedule is anti-defection. We'll discuss all this in detail whenever the topic comes up. What is defection? When a political leader, say for example, is elected from one ticket, but he joins another party after getting elected. So we'll say that there is defection, and in order to prevent that, we have anti-defection laws. So all that is mentioned in this 10th schedule. Then we have 11th schedule. 11th schedule is panchayat, and 12th schedule is municipality. So these are the 12 schedule. This is panchayat, this is municipality. These are the 12 schedules we have in the Constitution of India. Originally there were 8 schedules, then later 4 more were added. So territory, emoluments, affirmations, Rajya Sabha, scheduled areas, other scheduled areas, federal structure, official languages, that is we are going to discuss today in detail. That is what today's session is about. Then we have land reforms, defection, panchayat, and municipality. Let's look at the this passage and the context that we have, that we are going to discuss today. Uh, what are the reported recommendations of the Parliamentary Committee on Official Languages? As I told you, that official language is given under the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. So recently, there have been certain recommendations of Parliamentary Committee regarding the official languages. What are those? What is the controversy? What is it in news? That is what we are going to say. When did the linguistic row initially start? We'll a little bit go into the history of the start of the controversy. What is the history of the anti-Hindi agitations in Tamil Nadu? Specifically, we are focusing on one state, that is Tamil Nadu. How have regional leaders reacted? So this is the context, this is the content we are going to discuss. In this context we are going to discuss. So the story so far has been that the parliamentary committee, the reported recommendation of the parliamentary committee on official language, to use Hindi as medium of instruction in central institutions of higher educations. What are the central institutions of higher educations? Like we have IITs, we have IIMs, we have AIMS. These are the some technical institutions. So some central institutions of higher educations in Hindi speaking states and regional languages in other states has once again ignited a controversy over what is called by critics of the BJP an attempt to impose Hindi on non-Hindi speaking people. Of course, the people, India is such a diverse country. We have so many religions, faiths, so many people uh, participating in this celebration of democracy, and this as we call it, that it's a basket of so many different flavors, so many different people coming together and uniting as one country. That is the essence of India, that is the flavor of India. So if you impose one thing over the other, it definitely disturbs the overall uh, essence that we just discussed. So if you are imposing one language over the other in a country where there are so many languages, there are around 122 spoken languages, 270 mother tongues, then there are so many diverse cultures, diverse languages, local languages, mother tongue, so many things going on. If you impose just one language which is maybe in majority, then it is bound to uh, disturb the people who do not know Hindi, who are not comfortable with Hindi, who wants the equal opportunity in schools, in employment, in everywhere where they want to function in their either in English or in vernacular language or in a common language which is English in India. So here there has been a report recommendation by the parliament committee on the official languages that Hindi will be used as medium of instruction in the central institutions of higher education in Hindi speaking states, and in other states there is a this thing about that regional languages will be used where Hindi is not used. So that is one thing which is not being taken very in it is not very much welcomed, so to say. So the chief ministers of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, M.K. Stalin and Pinarayi Vijayan. So of course Tamil Nadu, Kerala, both South Indian states where Hindi is not the main language, not spoken by the majority. So the chief ministers of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, chief minister of Tamil Nadu is M.K. Stalin, of Kerala is Pinarayi Vijayan. They have voiced their concerns over the recommendation of the parliamentary committee regarding this thing that Hindi will be used and the regional language will be used in other. So why this demarcation when we have the English as the common language and when we can function in English? So why impose regional language or use of Hindi, so to say? What is the backdrop to the Hindi imposition rule? The origin of the linguistic row goes back to the debate of on official languages in the Constituent Assembly. As you know that when the Constitution of India was adopted on 26th November 1949 and when it came into force on 26th January 1950, there was a Constituent Assembly behind it, making the Constitution, drafting the Constitution, taking into factor so many factors into account, borrowing things from all over the world to so that it fits the Indian uh, setup, and we made our own constitution. So there were a lot of debates in the Constituent Assembly. So in the Constituent Assembly, Hindi was voted as the official languages by a single vote. However, it added that English would continue to be used as an associate official languages for 15 years. So associate official language was English for 15 years. Obviously, we were under the Britishers' rule. So, and of course, Lord Macaulay also brought Western education into India. So we were used to English. Most of the functioning with the administration, with the government was in English. So for at least 15 years, we said that it will be official, associate official language. The Official Languages Act came into effect on the expiry of 15-year period in 1965. As you know, that 1950 Constitution came into force. For 15 years, English was the associate official language. At the expiry of 15 years, we had the Official Languages Act. So, as a law student, you should be aware of this Official Languages Act that came in 1965. This was the background in which the anti-Hindi agitation took place. However, as early as 1959, you see, just 9 years after the constitution came into force, Jawaharlal Nehru had given an assurance, Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, had given an assurance in Parliament that English would continue to be in use as long as non-Hindi speaking people wanted it. So the non-Hindi speaking people in India, people in Tamil Nadu, people in Kerala, people in the South India. So if they, as long as they want, English will continue to be in use. Obviously, in order to unify such a big country with so many different languages, you need to have some common language. Then only you can function throughout the country. So as long as non-Hindi people want, they can use English. That was assurance given by Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister. Why do so many parties in Tamil Nadu stand against the recommendation? Tamil Nadu has had a long history of agitations against Hindi imposition. In August 1937, see 37, it is before the independence, in the then presidency of Madras, the regime headed by C. Rajagopalachari, you must have definitely heard the name of C. Rajagopalachari, also known as Raja Ji or CR, decided to make Hindi compulsory in secondary schools. So, in the presidency of Madras, it was decided to make Hindi compulsory in secondary school. E.V. Ramaswamy or Ramaswamy or Periyar as he was known, who was still in the Justice Party at that time, had spearheaded an agitation against the move of making Hindi compulsory, making the first such stir. So this is the history back in 1937. A few months after CR's resignation, the British government in February 1940, that is 3 years after this agitation, made Hindi optional. So it was not made compulsory. It was in 1940 made optional, not compulsory. In January 1965, now this again is 15 years after the constitution came into force, the second round of agitations erupted in the wake of Hindi becoming the official language of the union government, coupled with the approach adopted by the central government towards the whole issue. So, as you know, that we just discussed about the official languages, there are 22 official languages. When the Constitution of India was being written, there were only 14 official languages. Then later, a lot of other languages were added. Currently, the number stands at 22. The latest languages that have been added in the list of official languages in the Schedule 8 of the Constitution of India are Bodo, Dogri, Mathili, and Santhali. Bodo, Dogri, this is something important because it is repeatedly asked. Bodo Dogri, Mathili is usually spoken in Bihar and associate reasons. Mathili, one second, sorry. Bodo Dogri, Mathili, and Santhali. These are the last four languages in the list you will find: Bodo, Dogri, Mathili, and Santhali. So total there are 22 official languages, and uh, when the Hindi was made the official languages, there were agitations. Hindi is one of them. Sanskrit is also one of the 22. English is not there in the 22 official languages. You will not find English as an official language. At different points in time, leaders, starting from Nehru in the mid 1950s, assured the people of Tamil Nadu that there would be no imposition of Hindi. However, in recent years, be it the national education policy or reports of English signage on national highways in the state getting replaced with Hindi signage, the political class of the state has had overwhelmingly expressed its reservations. So the common things, like suppose you are traveling in a metro, so of course you need something that you can understand, or you are traveling on the road, you need highways signboards that you can understand. If you do not know Hindi, if you cannot read Hindi, it will be very difficult for you to transact your day-to-day business, so to say. So if you are, if the national highways, the signage is not in English, it's in Hindi. So it will be very difficult for a Hindi-speaking person or a person who does not know Hindi to even travel. So that has led to these agitations. The reiteration of the age-old assurance by the central government, coupled with the promise of the promotion of other Indian languages, have barely mollified the protesters. The essence, this again we are talking about the Official Languages Act 1963, is to provide something to each of the differing groups to meet its objections and safeguard its position. When the parties in the state see any attempt to disturb the status quo, their reaction is always uniform: a violent and angry, a virulent opposition. So, what is the offense of Official Languages Act was that everybody should have equal representation. They should have, people of the different groups. They should meet their objectives, safeguard their positions. But whenever there is any attempt of, say, Hindi imposition or anything that disturbs this status quo, of course, there are angry agitations, there are violent agitations to maintain the status quo. What does the present proposal say? This is very important to understand. If reports and sections of the media are an indication, English as a medium of instructions in all technical and non-technical institutes. What are technical institutes? Technical institutes like IITs, IIMs, AIMS. It's written here. See, IITs, IIMs, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. These are the technical institutes. And non-technical institutes like it's written here like KV schools, you must have heard Kendriya Vidyalayas and Navodaya Vidyalayas. So KV, NV. So will be permitted only where it is absolutely essential. So English is used only in rare cases where it's absolutely essential, as the idea is to replace the language gradually with Hindi in these institutions. See, this is not the official report quoted from the official report. This is from the media. If media is an indication, as written in the here. If reports and sections of the media are an indication, so English will only be used when it is absolutely essential. Other, because essentially the idea is to replace the English language with Hindi language in these all the technical and non-technical institutes. So also the committee has recommended the removal of English as one of the languages in examinations held for recruitment to the central services. So all the examinations that are happening in the recruitment to the central services, they are trying to remove English from there. So people hailing from South India, people hailing from non-Hindi speaking states, how difficult will it be for them to avail the central exam, to clear the examinations in the central services, to avail the opportunities provided by the government, by the state, by the how difficult it will be for the non-Hindi speaking people. It has stated that the requisite knowledge of Hindi among candidates should also be ensured. So whoever is writing these papers, they should have some basic level of Hindi knowledge. That will also be tested. So this is the reason of protest, that this is is being seen as imposition of Hindi languages. What is the alternative suggested by the critics of the proposal? Those who are uh, criticizing the proposal, what do they suggest? What should we do instead of this? Both Mr. M.K. Stalin and Mr. Vijayan, I mean the CM of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they have called for equal treatment to all the languages specified under the 8th schedule of the Constitution. So we have Telugu also, we have Kannada also, we have all the languages in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India, the 22 languages. They all should be treated equally. The Kerala Chief Minister has specifically stated that question papers for competitive examination should be prepared in all the languages, all the, not only English and Hindi or regional language, but all the languages, while his Tamil Nadu counterpart has urged the center to promote all languages and to keep open the avenue of progress in terms of education and employment equal to speakers of all languages. So it makes sense. Obviously, instead of focusing on the who can only speak in Hindi, it should be open to people who can speak any of the languages given in the 8th schedule. So all languages should be promoted equally, should have equal opportunities to be part of the uh, be it writing competitive examinations or be it any of the mainstream, being a member of the mainstream society, being able to communicate with the fellow Indians, opening that medium of communication. We should have a common language. So if you are removing English and trying to replace English with Hindi, that is something that is not taken in a good spirit by the non-Hindi states, by the non-Hindi speaking people. So that is something which is of controversy these days. The recommendations by the committee and how the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, how the Kerala Chief Minister is reacting to it. What are the alternatives that are being suggested? What are the things that are taking place? And how it will fold up? What will ultimately be the, you know, uh, whether there will be an imposition or whether there will be any of official order regarding the usage of Hindi in the technical and non-technical institutes or not, that remains to be seen. So this was the essence of this passage. You might get such passages in your CLAT paper, in your other law entrance examinations, and there can be questions regarding Schedule 8 of the Constitution of India. There can be questions regarding official languages. There can be questions regarding, the viewpoint of the author. That if this has been analyzed in such a manner, what do you think is the author favoring? Is he in favor of Hindi imposition? Or what are the alternatives that are being suggested? So these are the kind of questions that you should ask yourself. You should be very uh, uh, keen while reading the passage to extract these kind of questions while you are uh, encountering these passages. So this is all for this week. We'll see you next week on Friday with another analysis, another passage, another uh, text, another news that will be of relevance to your common law admission test and other law entrance examinations. All the best. Thank you so much.